Today I'm showing 4 inspirational people who have improved hugely in relatively short periods of time. So I'll start with, there's no particular order, but apart from this person who's my favourite of them, a legend, very popular in the media 10 years ago now, but I want his flame to carry on, is ex-smoker Steve Way. Steve Way started running at 33. Was it 31 or 33? One of those 2 years. Great start to the story. And he was hugely overweight. It was causing him health problems. I believe it was his blood pressure or health related issues only in his early 30s. He used to smoke heavily, drink heavily. He used to smoke cigars as well. He had a stressful but high tier IT job, and he wanted to lose weight and do something to better himself. So he took up running as a bet with a friend. He then, on all accounts, was only training for a few weeks and managed to run a 3:07 marathon. So that's an interesting backstory, because maybe that shows he might have some genetic gift. We all like to hear of runners who, can do well without maybe having a genetic gift. Maybe he had a hidden talent there, because, wow, 3:07 marathon of 3 weeks training. Amazing. The next year he went back to his old lifestyle, drinking and smoking. But then had enough again, and then joined the running club. I think his running club was Bournemouth or Southampton. He joined his local running club, and carried on progressing, running marathons, and then eventually got down to a 2:15 marathon, and an even better performance after his 2:15 marathon. He won a large amount of prize money, coming third in the Comrades Marathon. The Comrades is the world's most famous ultra marathon, close to 100k distance, and he also broke the British record over the 100km distance. But huge improvement still, because even though 3:07 marathon's a bloody fantastic first marathon time, with hard work he bettered it by over 45 minutes. So yeah, what a legend. And there's a good story. He said in an interview with a well-known newspaper that at cross country at school he used to hide behind the bushes. So he didn't have any sporting background in school, so it wasn't like he was an elite athlete, winning county races in school. He did no cross country in school, no athletics in school. So yeah, such an inspirational story for anyone who's taking up running later in life. Shows you don't necessarily need to have a running background, and you might just be good at something. And I mean, anybody would like to improve their marathon by 45 minutes, but especially from 3:07 to 2:15, amazing. Yeah, so love Steve Way. Second runner I'll mention is Haile Gebrselassie. He's won more medals in track and cross country than any other athlete. What a race. I remember when I first started getting into running, so maybe this was over 10 years ago now. You can write in the comments if you remember which year it was. I think it was a year or two after the London 2012 Olympics. Mo Farah, Haile Gebrselassie and Kenenisa Bekele, 3 legends. Mo Farah just winning the Olympics that year. Gebrselassie, previous Olympic champion. Bekele, at that time, he was still the 5k and 10k world record holder. And that was before the Ugandan got his record. So the 3 of them battling it out on the Great North Run course. But yeah, Haile Gebrselassie is a legend, but why is he on this list of some of the most improved runners? Because in Sydney 2000, he had an Achilles injury. I don't know if that was he had Achilles surgery. He has had Achilles surgery. But with, I think, 3 months training, he only came back to running in January. And with only 3 months training, I think he was only able to run 20 miles a week, he still retained or won his 10,000 metre title. So he was a real outsider then to retain it coming back from injury. But that kind of shows, as long as you can, maintain some kind of mileage or quality, he managed to get back from being out of the game for months and only running 20 miles a week, so winning a 10,000 metre gold medal, where most of those athletes are doing 100 mile weeks to win a 10,000 metre medal. So yeah, what a legend. Shows that anyone who's injured out there, I mean, you can get back to fitness pretty quickly, as long as you don't completely take your foot off the gas. Number 3, we've got Anya Culling. This is a legendary story because knocked 2 hours off her marathon time. And it's not like her first marathon was 7 hours or 6 hours. Her first marathon was pretty bang. I think London Marathon, the average finishing time is around 4.5 hours. So she did 4 hours, 34 minutes. Then I think her next London Marathon a couple years later was like a sub 3, insane. Then 3 years later, she did a 2:36, 1 hour, 58 minute improvement. And then Anya year after that, so 4 years after her 4:34, ran a 2:34. And that gained her an English vest. So that year, 2:34, 2 hour improvement was good enough to make a really, make her a real name in distance running. And you're not going to get a lot of athletes who have had an England vest say they've knocked 2 hours off their marathon time. Again, not like Steve Way, no childhood running background. So a lot of people think there's a lot of, say, running YouTubers or a lot of people you see claim to make all these really big improvements, but then you look into their history and maybe they've been running at school or they used to be really good runners, so they've got muscle memory. But you look at Steve Way and Anya Culling, no school running background, so shows that inspirational stuff, what's possible. And then number 4, please if let me know in the comments if you want to let me know any other people. I mean, I'm sure that you could make 100-person list of this, but number 4, I'm going to go for Nick Bester. People who are interested in running YouTube will know of him. He's a YouTube legend, and people know that he was trying to crack the 2:20 barrier over the marathon, and saw that he had quite a few attempts running, maybe like 5 failed attempts between 2:20 and 2:30. But then people think, that's not that much improvement. It's only 10 minutes to go from 2:30 down to 2:19, which he has done the 2:19 now. But then I was looking at his Power of 10. Power of 10 is like the historical legendary website, old school website, which back in the day was the main thing people cared about before Strava, to look at people's running stats. But then I was looking at Nick Bester's Power of 10, and actually his first sort of year he joined the running club, so the first year he was on Power of 10, you have to be a UK registered athlete to be on Power of 10. He did 2:42 marathon and only just went under 17 minutes in the 5k. Now I've been following his YouTube. His coach, he's now got a new coach. He's trying to see if he can get under 14 minutes. And this year he's ran comfortably under 15. I think he did a 14:40 or 14:30 something. Crazy. But that 14.5 or 14:40, he was 3 minutes slower than that. He was around the 17 mark. 17, sub 17 is a fantastic time. But yeah, to improve that, he probably worked really hard to get that sub 17. But you can tell he's a determined guy. He's got so much heart and passion, and he managed to go from just cracking sub 17 to going under 15s. And 2:42 to 2:19, that's over 20 minutes improvement, but at a high level already. So he went from, it's not easy to get faster when you're already on bloody 2:42 down to 2:19. So shows there's probably a lot of runners out there who are sort of trying to aim for their London Marathon Championship time. That's what I'm going to be trying to do next year. A sub 2:38 is the standard now, who were thinking, oh wow, it's hard to get a sub 2:38. And he didn't get a sub 2:38, he did 2:42 and then knocked another 20 minutes off that. So yeah, amazing what can be possible, and really inspirational people here. Yeah, amazing. And who else? People were missing. What, Spider-Man? He did all right, didn't he? But I think he had some kind of performance enhancing drug with that bite. He was pretty rapid. Forrest Gump, I don't think he trained much and ran around the US a few times, didn't he? Yeah, let me know in the comments if you think you can get on that list. Have you done some huge improvements in your 5K, in your marathon? Not quite as good as Anya. I've done an hour and a half. I trained for my first marathon 4:08. 5 attempts later went down to 2:40. I don't know, who knows, can I knock more of that and get lower? Can I? I don't think I'll match Anya's 2 hours. If I knock 2 hours off my 4:08, that'd be 2:08. I don't think that's going to happen. But yeah, next year. Yeah, let me know how much time you've knocked off and any other athletes you think are worth noting for their biggest improvements in running. Cheers.